Hi, I'm Sheldon Greenberg. I'm a professor at Johns Hopkins University in the School of Education and the School of Public Health. I came to Hopkins from the Police Executive Research Forum, where I was associate director, which is a national law enforcement think tank and research center. Before that, I was a member of the Howard County Police Department. I spent most of my career focusing on law enforcement, particularly frontline law enforcement, patrol and investigations, and police leadership. We're going to be in a course called Policing in the 21st Century. It covers a lot of issues, things that you may or may not have heard about in the news or thought about in regard to your neighborhoods and your own well-being. We're going through one of the biggest periods of change in the history of modern law enforcement. The biggest probably being in the late 60s and early 70s. But the period we're in now could actually surpass that period. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to talk about a lot of things that you know. We're going to talk about the basics, the traditions, the innovations, the successes, and even the mistakes and failures of policing today, and particularly, again, frontline policing in your neighborhoods, where you work, where you recreate. We'll spend a lot of time on the issues you've heard about in the news, the increased violence, the funding of the police use of force, police officer bias, the shortage of police personnel, which is really a very dramatic issue, something most people don't know much about. We're even going to talk about the dramatic rise in traffic-related deaths. The report came out just this week. We've got 42,000 deaths this past year due to traffic. We'll talk about mass casualty events, but we'll focus mostly on what you want to know. That's the most important part of the class. What you think as a group, what you think as individuals. If you want to spend time on one issue more than others, we'll do it. We'll discuss things you haven't heard much about. For example, everybody says the police need to. They need to change. They need to be better. They need to be more focused on justice. In the United States, there is no such thing as the police. It's one of the largest, most fragmented professions in the country. We'll discuss something very controversial that my colleagues at Hopkins don't like me talking about. And that's that there is little return on investment for the billions, literally billions, we spend on academic research in law enforcement.